Hi, I'm Jessica Shockness. I'm here with Concrete Rose Magazine, and we're covering DOPEfest 2015, and I'm standing with...
Patrice LaQuinte.
L Wyatt.
Todd Hughes.
Clown. Okay, so DOPEfest is a pretty unique event in the acceptance of medical or just marijuana in general. It seems like a very passionate topic for you guys. What was the need? Why do you feel like you need to advertise marijuana, the use of marijuana?
The use of marijuana. I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm about to take a mic right now. No, but in terms of marijuana, you can understand this is a very touchy issue right now. I mean, there's so much taboo and negative aspects attributed to marijuana, and I just see that this is one of the markets, this is one of the issues that plague our community as African Americans. So we really want to embark on, defeating all the negative information and all the negative propaganda out there. So given that DC just legalized, it's definitely an opportunity for us to really get out there and spread that awareness and that knowledge and that message that we're trying to produce as DOPEfest, and really not oppressing anyone, you know what I'm saying? So it's really an issue that affects us all.
Well, you know, music in general really has been used, I guess in the first part, you know, why? I've heard it so much since I was a kid about, you know, people cooling, smoking weed, hanging out, hippie culture, these different things. And to come back and to remember being a dare kid, to come back and remember my life being branded about something that was kind of a lie. In terms of the actual uses for marijuana and the things that were negative. I mean, there were other drugs under the schedule, which is admittedly so, but marijuana has been testified in Congress and Senate meetings for years, since literally 1957, about the actual positive effects and about the non-negative effects in terms of the use of cannabis to treat illnesses, to treat sociopolitical issues, to have peace and love in society. I know it sounds crazy in 2015, but the best way to describe it is peace and love. And we just went through a war. We really just went through a war in our culture. So, I mean, how could you not get behind and support something positive?
Why do you think there is a stigma on medical marijuana or just marijuana?
I think that the country had a job to do at one point, you know, which was eradicate drugs. When we look at the 70s in Vietnam, kind of soldiers coming back on heroin and these things, you know, there were different items that were a part of the war on drugs that were needed, you know, and still yet there were failures. I think marijuana is one of the failures. I think crack's another one of the failures. So in terms of how that was treated, so I think since we've gotten rid of the crack problem mostly, then maybe we can get rid of some of the failures from marijuana, which is actually the lower hanging fruit.
Do you think blacks and African Americans are oppressed more than other individuals who use marijuana?
Yeah, I totally believe that.
I can answer that one. Basically, yes, it's overbearing results on African American arrests for marijuana. You can look at the American Civil Liberties Society, and they actually have information that says African Americans are oppressed overbearingly by marijuana. But I'm interested in not just the oppression side, but the, you know, Black Wall Street side. How do we bring black enterprise back? You know, and if they're going to allow this to happen, if they're going to allow us to use marijuana, why not have us as the people who start business in that industry? And so that's what DOPEfest is all about, is incubating black talent. So not necessarily black, but, you know, all people who are oppressed. And that's what we want to do, is give people an opportunity to shine, and that's what we're doing with this event. So
when did this collaboration occur? How did you guys come together and say, you know what, we're going to do this?
I got to answer that. Okay. So I'm going to tell you this story. So I was walking down the street, right? And yeah, I was walking down the street. And so then I was like, I heard a little peep. It was like, hey! And I put my arms out and I caught Todd. And he just fell from the sky, man. These guys are just heaven sent. These are my bros. Like, we can never tell you the magic about it. But there's a lot. So, you know, and in terms of the rest of the team, you know, really that's, you know, a higher power.
So you have someone, he's not here right now, his name is Will, I guess he's covering the event as we speak. His mom actually passed away, and she was going through chemotherapy, but she wasn't allowed to use marijuana, am I right?
Yeah.
So was that the catalyst for him to be a part of this group?
So it's a lot more than just his mom.
Okay, so tell us.
He's actually gotten in trouble for marijuana, right? And so getting in trouble for it.
What do you mean getting in trouble? Is it personal?
So like, you're at school and you're not allowed to have marijuana, but he had it. So he got in trouble. But guess what?
It's after his mom.
He came up with the idea once he got in trouble, he was out on the street and trying to figure out what he needed to do in life. He said, I don't see what's wrong with marijuana. He started doing research, started digging into the details, and realized in other countries, marijuana is something that's really good for people. It's really helped people with cancer. And so now, he came up with this idea to have a music festival, cultivate people, work with advocacy groups, work with Congress, work with council members in each state and legalize marijuana. And that's what he's done. And so that issue, a bad thing, has become such a great thing, and a lot of people are appreciative of what we're doing right now. So I appreciate it.
Just in that term, like what Todd was saying, just to kind of bring a full circle, because, you know, I practice in law a lot, and sometimes I'm in jail cells with young men, and they tell me, hey, what happened? The first thing I ask them is like, what happened? You know, usually it's like, they're happy to see me. I'm one of the first people they see, like, hey, Brandon, what's going on? And, you know, I'll volunteer at different jails on bond hearings and stuff to catch them at the onset. And I've seen so many young men like Will who got in trouble, but not many young men like Will who the onset was not only the trouble he had in school, but he had trouble in his life. Like when his mother was sick, she had cancer, a rare cancer, and during chemotherapy activated a rare liver disease. And in activating that rare liver disease, now mind you, she died rapidly, so she beat cancer. What? No,
cancer that
it wasn't the cancer. It wasn't the cancer. It was the liver disease that chemotherapy initiated. So now in terms of his research after that, going through that down period, the research he did found that countries like Israel actually used marijuana, cannabis oil, to treat the cancer itself, which has lessened the effect and need for chemotherapy, which triggers other issues in your body. And also, once those other issues are triggered, because you're being treated by cannabis oil and marijuana-based products, those liver diseases and the things don't activate. So he found it out and literally lost his mind. And I mean, in some of the best ways possible, and also some of the most painful.
Did you know him at this time, around this time?
Yeah, I definitely know him. Yeah, so he disappeared. I didn't see him for a while. And I was glad to hear that he got up with Treese, and they called me in because, you know, I'm working on a PhD and I got a whole bunch of things going on. They wanted me to help organize this event. And so he told me the story and it brought me in. I mean, that was it. I was done.
That's amazing. So what do you think about the individuals who, okay, we have this set of individuals who use medicinal marijuana, right? Then you have the other individuals who use marijuana. Then you have the other ones who use it and it's laced with other illegal drugs. Do you think that's a problem?
That person. I've never met.
It happens.
I mean, it does. I have never met that person.
Okay.
Like the people that I know, the percentages that use marijuana really only use marijuana. They may have experimented with other things, organic things like mushrooms or whatever, and I'm not saying that other drugs don't cross. I'm not saying that. But out of all the time that I've been using cannabis and the people that I know smoke, I've never. So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that maybe that
I'm just saying that maybe that's the reason, maybe that's one of the reasons why they don't want to legalize it.
Propaganda. Because just because, hey, peanut butter is bad, jelly is bad.
No, but I mean, in regards to that, and in regards to it being laced, I understand. I've heard stories and whatnot, and pretty much what he's saying, I feel like that is definitely propaganda. But at the same time, I mean, this is why we're doing DOPEfest. This is why we're doing that, in order to promote the responsibility and the health of all individuals who are using this drug. Because you got to understand, at the end of the day, it's still a drug, and we got to promote that safety and safety first. And that's one of the things that we really take to heart. Safety first.
So how many events have you organized? Is this the first? This is not the first one.
This is number 2.
This is number 2.
When was the first one?
The first one was Dopeology. That's all I'll tell you.
Dopeology was a great event. We had Dan Sims, who was here today, who taught people how to grow marijuana in their house, since they're allowed to legally have 6 plants in their house. He taught again today. And the first event, I was told that we were the Beatles. By a gentleman.
I definitely remember
who was definitely impressed by our prestige and the way that we handled that event. And when we had a panel of law and art and history people there who were able to help people understand, you'll get in trouble if you do X, Y, Z. You can build yourself up as a company. You can earn money from this, but just be careful of these 3 things. And people really enjoyed that information. And then we ultimately allow people to get seeds and allow people to kind of you know, get ingrained in the culture, and it was a great time. So
what's the next step for you guys besides after this is over, everyone's going to bed or eating because they might have the munchies after tonight? What's the next thing for you?
The next thing, the class.
I don't smoke, right? So government worker, so I don't smoke. But I had to put that caveat on there. But the next thing, we're going to go state to state. We're going to gather people together. We're going to have people vote, and we're going to send that information to the congressmen or to the state council members. We want them to know that the people want this in their states. People are dislodging themselves from their communities and moving to other states that are legalized in order to get the medicine and things that they need for their children and their family. So that's the next thing, is state to state, and we're going to end with a mega festival.
When do you think this is going to occur?
Well, in addition to that, we're going to do a class plant. So that'll start in like 3 weeks. So just building and, you know, come grow with us. That's what we were talking about. You know, in DC, hey, we can grow. So what we're going to do is show people how to do it. We've already had events where we give away seeds. We've already brought some of the #1 cannabis growers in the country out. And so the next best thing to do is actually show people how to do it. And during that process, hopefully we can teach them how to apply the laws properly. I mean, I know a lot of college courses and stuff are talking about taking it up now, and that's no disrespect to any horticulture class, but that's not going to teach you how to make the change that's needed. That's also may not prepare you in terms of actually dealing with your customers and business models and the networking, you know, and so just providing access to people who are just an everyday person who want to learn how to get better at it, and those individuals getting better at it can build businesses that involve cannabis, from edibles to helping other people grow. There's just things now, and as we get legislation changed along the way, we'll continue to teach people how to use it.
Awesome. So how long did it take you to prepare for this in this location? Because it's beautiful in here, all the artwork. How long?
Thank you.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Yeah, it's a secret. Just, honestly, it took us some time, and it's just building together as a team. So I definitely value these guys right here, just making a dream come true. And it's just the beginning. Like we keep telling people, this is the dope prequel. And just look out for a lot more.
Like, wait till you meet Dana and Brittany and
we have a great
Shawn
team.
and
How many of you guys?
Brandon. I have never counted.
8 or 9.
Isaiah.
We have folks in Atlanta. We have folks in, you know, so we're like.
Stop telling this secret.
All right.
Yeah.
You're asking too many questions.
This is my job.
Oh man, we gotta.
See, this is why I don't deal with reporters.
Okay, on that note, I just want to thank you guys for inviting us. I really love the event. The artwork is beautiful.
Thank you.
The message is great. Just want to thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Stay dope.
All right. So you can catch us at DOPEfest2015.com, dope-fest.com.
Catch us on Instagram.
On Instagram and Twitter, dope_fest.
Neighborhood, hanging out,
anywhere.
cooling out.
So you can get me at todd@dope-fest.com. I'll answer all your questions. Thank you.
Oh, come on. That's a personal plug. Come on.
It was. All right. It was.
You can also catch me at Treese@dopefest.com. Stay dope. Thanks for having us. Concrete Rose, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.